talk to you at a poker table when we sit down, one, I'm being friendly. Two, I'm trying to figure out what your baseline responses are. You know, are you going to be really calm? You know, what's your demeanor when you're relaxed? If you start talking, if I somehow get you talking in the middle of a hand, and you might just say, "Yeah, I'll show you." Well, now you might have opened up. You know, that might not give me a thing. You saying yes or no, that might not give me anything. It probably won't. But what you're doing is engaging with me and maybe opening up the floor for discussion where I can talk to you and open up to you talking to me more, to where, you know, if we were having a conversation about your kids earlier and you were just so relaxed, sitting back in your chair, having a good time, but now we're starting to talk about the hand and, well, why did you raise so much on the flop? You know, and you don't give me a coherent answer. You know, you've opened up this dialogue. You know, you just go down a road that you don't want to go down.
What I was getting at, if you want to induce a call or a fold, can your response affect that?
I mean, of course it can, you know, but it depends on how your opponent interprets everybody interprets things differently. And the problem with you doing that is you might induce this guy to call you, which is great, that's what you want. But the problem is the guy over here is going to see this and induce it a different way. So you got to be, if you're doing that to induce someone to make a decision based on what you're doing, you just got to be aware that other people are, you know, when you're at a poker table, you got to be aware of who else is watching, because you got to remember that you did this against this player and this guy watched. You know, when I'm playing a poker table, after about an hour of sitting there, you can look around the table, and of the 9 people that are sitting there, there'll be 3 or 4 that are really in the game, know what hands were played an hour ago. You know, oh yeah, you played the pocket deuces 2 hours ago. There'll be other people that are watching the TV, talking to the waitress, whatever. They're out of the hand. You don't have to worry about making plays on those guys or what, you know, inducing. You know, when you're working against another guy, you don't have to worry about those guys. But the 3 other guys that are paying attention, you got to remember, okay, well, when I was in a hand,